I'm the artist taxi driver. This is Joe, who's come down from Durham. We're just driving past the Houses of Parliament here. We were just talking about, he was talking about my kids, and he said he's got 6 kids and 14 grandchildren.
Yeah, I should have bought a TV.
And we were just saying, or Joe was saying about what are we leaving our children?
Yeah, they're being shattered, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, there's just nothing. How are we going to help them? We've allowed to happen. You know, a government that, and not just this government. It doesn't matter which government you've got in any of the mob that are in politics at the minute. There is just no future for them. You know, and you're trying to be positive and encourage the children and young people, but there's something in the back of your head all the time now saying, well, actually we're lying to them because they can't afford housing, they can't afford education, and you know that's going to be a privilege again of the rich, and we haven't moved on at all really, and in this is my TV license. BBC are culpable in all of this as well. If you just the other day, I mean, there was thousands and thousands of people across the streets in London, up in the north where I'm from, and across the world, and the lack of media coverage was just, I just couldn't believe it. So what I'd done was I put my license fee in this envelope, and I'm going to give it to this man, because hopefully what he's going to do, none of us can do anything on our own, but this may help him make his movie, and everybody else could do it, and I just wish they would. And honestly, I'm so angry. My backside is chewing your seat. It makes me so angry.
I mean, last night we had, what did we have? Britain on the fiddle.
Oh man.
With like pointing a finger at desperate people. You know, while the rich, we're just driving past Big Ben here, while the rich and the people, the pigs that sit in there, are divvying up taxpayers' money every day of the week through privatisation, what they're calling that outsourcing with the NHS, firefighters.
Bollocks! It's transfer of wealth, plain and simple. Transfer of wealth. Now, the other one that came out the other day, that and people saying, they're going to sort of campaign for a living wage. That's just going to end up as a tax break for business. You know, the people, the end result, the punter in the street, they're not going to benefit from that. You know, it's just a transfer of wealth. That's all it is, continual transfer of wealth. And you know, our kids are not going to get any of it. They're not going to see any of this stuff. No matter how clever or bright they become and how hard they stick in, they'll never, like a pension, they'll never ever get. I bet our kids don't get any pension that they pay in.
We just passed number 10 Downing Street there, Joe, and yeah. When I met him, Joe, in Parliament Square, and we walked through by Westminster Abbey. What was there, Joe?
It's criminal. You've got to cross there for everybody who's remembered someone. Now, nobody in their right mind would sort of have anything against those people who fought and lost their lives and all that kind of stuff. But you've got to ask the question, why? I mean, that happened. We haven't moved on anywhere. We haven't, you know, we've still got a war cabinet. We still spend much more money on weapons and than we do on solving poverty. And the reason is because there's no money in poverty. There's no money in solving poverty, but there's money in weapons. There's money in war, and that, you know.
There was just a field of crosses. You cannot believe tens of thousands of crosses, and they are fighting for oil. You know that how many of those died in Iraq and how many died in other places around the world. But this is the war machine: banks, oil, and arms. This is our gift to the world. And to me, the remembrance, the way that it seems so. It's like a commercial for war. It's like, look, Look, you can be brave, you can be a hero. I'm listening to the bloody BBC pumping out, you can be a hero for children in need. I mean, this whole thing about how Britain is so great, and yet the things that we do around the world are just appalling.
Yeah, we're still doing it. That's what I'm saying. We haven't moved on really at all. You know, I mean, in the past, when in the wars and when people were fighting with sticks and, you know, pointy sticks and all that kind of stuff, there was some personal stuff in there. Now, you know, men and women are giving up their lives for I don't know what. You know,
what's wrong with people, Joe? What's wrong with people?
We don't know. We're not told. We're not. You know, like I said, once the enlightened and the angry get together, that's the only time we're going to change stuff. It's you know, we're allowing. We've got nobody to blame but ourselves. We're allowing all of this to happen. And like I said, you know, I mean, I fear for those kids, and you know, those people who are signing up to join the armies and the navies and all that kind of stuff. They do it with a heartfelt good intention.
But their mother, brother, father, sister is lying without a job, without hope, homeless. You know, queuing up at food banks.
Yeah.
They were collecting every year at my son's school. They collect a harvest thing, and it's not for like years ago. It was for people who abroad.
Yeah.
This year they were collecting for the Orpington Food Bank. There's a massive barracks down that way.
I just...
And we're now in Pall Mall. We can see Buckingham Palace. Look. This is that's where the leader of the war machine is. Goes my phone. Got someone behind now. Let that phone fall out of that rack again. I never normally take it out, Joe. But I mean, the whole thing, the whole system is bankrupt. The whole system is corrupt, from Parliament to the monarchy to the police, the media, the banks.
I mean, the banks have stiffed everybody, haven't they? I mean, and you know, I mean, I've got to tip my hat off to people like, you know, Max Kaiser and people like that who continually tell us, and when we get this knowledge, you think, oh yeah, actually, yeah, we've been shafted, and we're getting shafted again and again and again, and it's getting worse, and the kids are going to, you know, like I said, I feel for the kids. We're unless something changes, we're not, you know, there's no hope for them, and like you said, you know, it is all corruption.
But a few years ago, when I saw the massive sort of like march against the war in Iraq, and there was 1 million people on the street,
yeah,
you know, that was a really positive time, and I really thought that's the moment. You know,
where
lots of different people came together as one.
Yeah, we missed the opportunity, I think.
I think we need to get that back, but they're holding all the things. They're holding, the strike. They got the laws. They got the unions. They're doing the human rights. You know.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a process happening now where they're eroding all of the opportunities for people to protest, and you know, more than two of you stand on a street corner and you'll end up getting banged up soon, and with the further erosion of the human rights. I mean, it's not about making it easier for business to make money and all that kind of stuff. It's so that you can't, the plebs, us, we can't do anything. We can't, you know, we can't protest. We just have to keep feeding the machine, and that's what we do day in, day out. And you know, their plan's working. They're feeding the machine. You know, we're feeding the machine.
But when I said to you earlier, what's wrong with people? That's what they're feeding them distractions, aren't they?
Yeah.
With the television, with the football.
Yeah.
You know, with prejudice and hate. You know, this is all. This is part of their plan, isn't it? This is part of their coup.
Yeah. You just keep them busy. You don't give people enough time. Make them keep busy working to earn a meagre living, and so that and then fill their leisure time up with complete bile. and then there's just nothing left. You know, they don't have time. They're too weary. You know, we're all too weary. We're too tired. We've been working, and that's the part of the plan. You know, it no longer, you can't say to kids, you know, work hard and the rewards will be great, because it's not. You know, they'll work their socks off, but the rewards won't be great. You know, it's different. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't per se have a problem with capitalism if it's proper, real market capitalism. What we don't have, we don't have that. We have crony capitalism. You know, I mean, you know, what's the statistics? I think is it the 5% of them have 90% of the wealth or whatever it is. But the likes of you and I aren't getting any of it.
No, but the whole thing is we should have a society that is built on goodness and good people, and the thing what happens with any form of capitalism and any form of socialism or all the other things, they're all been failed. You know, until a system is worked out where there can be safeguards against this, until we have a system where, you know, where there is no one that's in charge, you know, until we have that kind of system, it's always going to be like...
Yeah, I mean, the collective, you know, I mean...
The corporations, the pigs.
Yeah, well, it's like that stuff with, you know, you did with the snouts and the trough and that, and you're always going to get that. I mean, you know, we just drove around billions and billions of pounds. You know, who's that benefiting? You know, all this big business and this so-called growth that we have in at the moment. I mean, you extract the debt from that growth, and there isn't no growth. The recession is very, very much alive still.
Would they love it? Rastani, he said, I wake up every morning dreaming of a recession. I'm the highest taxi driver. This, my friend, is the Ordinary Joe.